Hey, do you ever ask yourself, do I know Jesus or do I just know about Jesus? And what does it take to move from like head knowledge of like facts of Jesus to getting to know like who Jesus really is for yourself? Hey, welcome to Walk and Talk, where we're going to talk about how we can take real, simple, practical steps to grow closer to Jesus every day. And today we're going to look at an article that's on Finds.Life.Church. I'll put that in the comments. And it's called How to Find Jesus for Yourself. And it gives a lot of different points of ways that we can begin living and loving like Jesus every single day. I'm going to give you a few of them right now. So the first one is to go the places that Jesus goes. Jesus wasn't about staying put. In the Gospels, he was always on the move, meeting people where they were in their messiest moments. He didn't care about the boundaries and barriers that people put between themselves and others, whether those were like racial, cultural, gender lines, whatever it was, it didn't matter. He showed up for anyone who needed him anytime. So what does that mean for us? Following Jesus is about showing up in our everyday places for overlooked people, whether you're at work, you're walking through your neighborhood, or you're just going about your day. He's there. So look around. He's in the people that you meet in the quiet moments, and he's calling us, inviting us to keep our eyes open for the people who might need our help in our community, whether it's like our neighbors or some sort of marginalized group in our community that might need our help. Jesus wants to be there. And so he invites us, he calls us to be there on his behalf, for him and with him. The second thing is to ask questions and seek answers. Faith isn't about having all of the answers all the time. It's about a journey. It's about asking tough questions, sharing your doubts, even when we don't have anything figured out, continuing to pursue Jesus. A lot of us, I think I know, I'm included, just feel afraid to ask questions sometimes. We feel like people of faith should have all the answers about everything to do with like faith and God and the Bible, but then we read Bible verses or we have a big experience in our lives and we feel like, oh, I don't know how to deal with this. I don't really know what this means. I don't really know how to process this. But guess what? Throughout the whole Bible, we see countless times when people are asking questions and God meets those questions with grace and compassion and ways to move forward, regardless of whether or not we have all the answers. So when we're experiencing doubts, when we have tough questions, we ask and we let those things fuel our growth through prayer, through continuing to read scripture, through sharing our doubts and questions with others. The Bible invites us to be honest with God, to not be afraid to ask hard questions, because the more you ask, often the clearer Jesus becomes. All right, then the last one is embracing community. Finding Jesus isn't a solo mission. It's about walking together alongside other people. Jesus didn't go through life alone. He had disciples who walked alongside him, who prayed for him, who encouraged him. So if Jesus was surrounded by people and people were helpful for him, then we need people too. It's tempting to live isolated lives because we have so many conveniences all around us, but God invites us to be in relationship with one another. And your faith grows while you're in community, whether it's a church group, a small group, a Bible study, or just you just have a few close friends who you have a text group with. Those people can help you thrive. They provide support for you, accountability, encouragement. So find those kinds of people who challenge you, who lift you up, who hold you accountable, and together you can walk closer to Jesus together, and you can go farther than you could alone. You can help experience encouragement that you would never be able to find on your own. God is with us all the time, but God also calls us to be in relationships too. So as we wrap up, let's remember these 3 steps to finding Jesus for yourself. The first is going the places that Jesus goes. We do this by staying open to encountering God in everyday small moments. The second is through asking questions and seeking answers. We do this by leaning into our doubts, not having to have all the answers, but rather seeking God through prayer, seeking him through relationships, seeking him through scripture, and letting those doubts fuel a growing relationship with Jesus. And the third is embracing community. And we do this by surrounding ourselves with people who support us and challenge our faith. So remember, each step deepens our relationship with Jesus. Remember that finding him is an ongoing journey, happens every day through small steps of keeping our hearts open, our eyes open to notice him and see him in small moments. Thanks for joining me on this walk and talk about finding Jesus for yourself. Think about today, what's a step that you could take closer to Jesus, to get to know Jesus more for yourself, to experience him more closely. If you want to dive deeper, I will put that article by Jason Inman from Finds.Life.Church in the comments. If you want to dig deeper into that, remember your faith is built on small daily steps closer to Jesus. So think about, what's a step that I could take closer to Jesus today? Drop that in the comments so we can encourage you and join you in prayer and your growing faith in Jesus. Have a great day.